What is going on, guys? PoliticsGaming here, and today we are doing a brand new live stream for Power and Revolution, the 2020 edition. So I already have a game going on. We're gonna actually go ahead and start that game up, and then while we do that, we are going to talk about. I have like 10 minutes, and I have to go to my 5th period Zoom meeting. Yeah, sure, you got Zoom. Basically, I do have a game going on as Russia, so I'm going to be previewing through this game while I'm also going to be talking about the brand new, Please Boom Japan. That's a possibility, not a probability. Looks like the war between China and Taiwan has actually calmed down. I don't know if I saved it. No, it was on the 1st of the year, so... I actually do have troops on the border with Ukraine. Let's look. Yeah, set up position right now in on the border of Ukraine. I have some anti-missile defense systems online right now, so I actually have them in the southern part of the country, and then let's look. Let's go ahead and move this guy a little bit more north. And I do have a ship deployed as well. Let's look. So you can actually see the range that is actually on these things now, and I'm able to, if I wanted to, I could literally deploy a couple of ships in the Black Sea, and then I could start bombarding positions of terrorist units in Syria, so they could actually fly, the missiles would fly over Turkey and then arrive at their targets in Syria. So that's actually a possibility now. You can actually, again, you can see how much range it actually has, and we could literally almost hit Baghdad with these missiles. If I actually move it over close to the Georgian border, then we could probably actually hit Baghdad as well. We could also probably hit Jerusalem and even Amman in Jordan. Hello, my fellow Kafefes. Welcome to the live stream. Does anyone know the date of the Steam release? Basically, the Steam edition should be coming out next week. Unfortunately, it has been... I think it's actually been delayed until they can actually get the update out, because there are a couple of big bugs that have actually been in the game. So if I actually, like, just in the last live stream, I had a issue with let's look. I could go to Russia and then let's hit the pause button. So if I actually come over to purchase, where is it? Let's go to Russia. Let's purchase, and they're gone. Wait, these are weapons. Damn, we're spending almost 30% of my budget on industry, employment, social, energy, and unemployment insurance. Actually, most of that's coming from unemployment insurance. Almost $20 billion of that is coming from unemployment insurance. $490 billion GDP compared to the $5.1 trillion that the Chinese industrial GDP is. Actually the secondary sector of the Chinese economy, which, if we actually look, the Chinese economy has actually overtaken the American economy. 4.9 trillion with the United States secondary sector, and then 5.1 trillion with the Chinese secondary sector. Let's go ahead and check the tertiary sector. Tertiary sector, $590 billion for the Russian economy, 5.9 trillion for the Chinese economy, and 8.2 trillion in the American economy. So the American economy is definitely stronger in terms of the tertiary sector, about stronger by about $2.3 trillion. I love your video from Turkey. Hell yeah, I actually have a game going on as Turkey, and Turkey might be a great spot to do, what do you call it, an actual series from. I mean, we could go for round 3 of the Republic of Turkey. as a brand new series on this channel. Since once I actually finish this video, this live stream, I'm going to make the next episode of the United States. I'm not going to stop anymore on the United States series. Since 2020 is out, we're going to be dealing with COVID. We're kind of going to have a little bit of a reset, at least in terms of the year of 2020. I barely got into the year of 2021 in that game. So what I'm gonna do, is I'm going to, actually, I'm not gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it whenever the update actually releases, because if I start it before the update releases, then that would kind of be weird, because I actually do have issues with, I actually do have a lot of issues with getting masks. I mean, I'm not even able to purchase masks anymore. Because of where is it? Because of some sort of bug that prevents me from buying a lot of them. We are buying the antiviral treatment for COVID-19. We have about 100 million in stock. We need about 100,000 in the next 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and get rid of that song, and then let's go back to health and social security. Let's go over to antiviral treatment, and then let's go over to purchase contract. Let's go ahead and go to the United Kingdom. Let's go ahead and purchase 25 million more units of the antiviral treatment. We're actually going to buy, let's go ahead and buy 100 million more. It's 25, that's 50. And then 75. And that's 100. Date of stock out 2059, so imagine what the other 100 million is going to do. So that basically means that we are completely ready for any other resurgence of the pandemic. We are having a pretty ugly budget deficit right here, 2.2% as the Russian Federation, mostly because I believe it's because of our lost state revenues, and at the same time we are spending a lot more. We are spending a lot more in terms of where is it? Unemployment insurance is not going to be it. It's going to be Homeland Security, health, housing, information, justice, miscellaneous could be it. Research, secret services, treasury. I mean, it doesn't look like it's in here, actually. A lot of these culture tabs are way more than 15% of what they were in the beginning of the game. Look at this, agriculture's way up there. He plays Taiwan in this game. Well, anyone else can, but hey, what's going on, Sweet Tooth? Welcome to the live stream. Currency, let's check that. I actually reduced the interest rate to about 3% from about 5%. Kind of bad to do during a pandemic, but at the same time, it still kind of helps our economy a little bit, and any which way it does, it's going to be accepted. Super Bowl final has been canceled, so that is okay. Let's go ahead and check on the pandemic situation in the United States. In Russia, we have 7,672 cases of the coronavirus. We have 1.3 million that have actually recovered from it, and then we get about looks like 30,000 more cases that are actually contaminated. Basically, whenever it says contaminated, there are going to be people over here that are susceptible to giving it to someone else, but that is the only threat that we really have. 17,000 and 48,000. There's only 7,600 cases, and 23,000 Russian citizens have died from the coronavirus. So in the United States, 100,000 cases right now, 300,000 have died from it, and about 10 million have actually gotten the coronavirus, but then about almost 10 million have already recovered from it. Looks like we are out of the recession that I was actually in. If I actually go over here, go to growth, that actually won't show because since I'm in a new year. Let's look over in finance. Can we look at it on you? No, but basically I was in a recession before this game actually started. Basically, the definition of a recession is that I have negative growth for 3 consecutive quarters. I did have negative growth for 3 consecutive quarters, even though the recession was kind of minimal. It still is considered a recession, so I did survive that recession. Not only in that, I do actually have a lot of contracts going on right now. I have 2 large economic contracts going on with the Japanese and the Indians. So I have the Mumbai agreement, and then I have the Vladivostok agreement. The Vladivostok agreement is actually worth about $150 billion. I have about $150 billion worth of sales going over to Japan. Basically, that really did help in terms of economic growth and keeping my borrowing down. The Mumbai agreement is worth around, if I look, this is going to be 36 billion. It was about $45 billion the Mumbai agreement was worth. So let me go to the next day. Quarterly unemployment stands at 0%. I have full employment during the coronavirus. The king of Morocco actually wants to have a meeting. Let's go ahead and, I guess, entertain the idea of meeting with a neutral nation. I mean, we have barely any good relations with him, but looks like it's not that bad at either. He has an approval rating of 26%. The Steam edition seems to be coming out next week once they actually get the once they actually do get the, what do you call it, the bugs fixed. There are a couple of bugs that are actually present in the game right now that you guys would probably not like, especially with the missile issue that is actually going on. I mean, it means that I'm not able, I mean, this is only going based off of how many missiles, how many nuclear missiles I have. This is what the 5,192 nuclear weapons that I actually have. It's not based on the actual number of missiles. Maybe even, let me look. Don't know if this uses missiles, but I guess not. Go ahead and move the position a little bit. And then let's form a squad out of these 2 guys. Ukrainians aren't going to be doing that much, especially since my own border is actually protected by most of these troops right here. Let's go ahead and check on their strength. 19,000 fighters on the East Donbass Autonomous League. They're a conservative rightist regional group. 3.8 million sympathizers, 19,000 fighters, 3,500 mercenaries, 40 tanks, and 147 armed pickup trucks. So they're a pretty considerable force in the East Ukraine. Hey, what's going on, AMN? Welcome to the live stream. United States allows Millennium Challenge Corporation of Morocco with industrial project. The game needs to get this load. Never heard of that before. Got the Rostov 3 nuclear power plant. That's actually a 3rd generation nuclear power plant. Let's go ahead and see whenever I'm going to be able to get my hands on the fusion nuclear power plant. It's going to be 2025 to 2027. Maybe we can get a little bit earlier if we can improve some funding. To matter sciences and energy and environment. It's going to be about $2 billion. Then we need to just start getting our taxes up, but at the same time, I don't think we're going to have that much economic growth in terms of if we actually get that much taxes up in the air. I mean, if I, what, $457 billion worth of tax revenue, $69 billion if you actually include... No, I mean, that's including the nationalized sectors. It's not including something, for some reason. Let's go ahead and meet with my Minister of Finance. He does not seem to be liking me right now. Attack Ukraine, hell yeah. So what if you invade East Donbass and annex it? Will it go to Ukraine? Will you be able to annex it? Well, there is a way for you to annex specific regions. I mean, if I wanted to roll into Ukraine and then grab the West Donbass and East Donbass regions, then yeah, that is a possibility. The only way you're going to be able to do that is if you actually, there's a massive attack going on in Luhansk right now. Let's look, Ukraine, and then it's controlled by the East Donbass League. I guess if there's going to be any sort of a large-scale attack upon the East Donbass region, then I'm going to probably get involved.
Sure. Dark and strong, please.
Dark and strong, please.
That's not to be turned down. Thanks.
Let's check his corruptibility. It's about 38, not that much. Cheer him up.
Thanks. Anything else? With all my heart, thank you. So many illustrious men and women of our beautiful country have received this. At the same time, it's an enormous responsibility. I will do my best to prove myself worthy of this prize.
This individual has the national medal. Hell yeah.
Why this injunction? If the state is unhappy with my services, it can always get rid of them at any time.
Yeah. Alright, let's see what else there is. Loyalty vis-a-vis the head of states. It is about 37. But yeah, basically the only way to actually get specific regions is if you wanted to... I need to make a tutorial for it. But basically you just need to go in, you need to get the Luhansk city, the Torez, Barinka, maybe this one, Donetsk, and that one as well. Mariupol is actually in a different region. It's actually in the West Donbass region. But in any way, basically you just need to capture every single city, not one of them, not the biggest one, but I think it's going to be every single city within that region, and then you're going to be able to capture the region itself. Or another thing could be is if, yeah, the regional capital, you could actually probably just swoop into the regional capital and then grab it like that. There's a fire level 1 happening in Donetsk right now, or Luhansk. Luhansk is actually the second largest region in the East Ukraine, second largest city, and then Donetsk is actually the first largest city. So both of these cities are actually very important to the East Donbass region. Send a few billions to East Donbass and begin rolling Ukraine back. Yeah, that's something I can actually do. Let's go ahead and create a new network of agents. And then let's approach terrorist groups. And then once we actually start getting support for the terrorist groups, then what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to start doing a cyber attack preparation.
Good morning.
Okay, this was a sale of bottled water, 21 million liters. They want to sell me their entire production of bottled water. Where the hell are they going to be able to get the rest of their bottled water? But apparently my country does not have that much of a production of bottled water. So we're going to go ahead and end that meeting. We're going to go over to industry, and we are going to go to bottled water. We are going to give them some subsidies. Let's go ahead and give them $75 million worth of subsidies. And what I'm noticing right now is actually whenever you subsidize, you actually get an immediate effect. So this actually went up by 0.2% of the world's production. So let's look into maybe nationalizing it. No, it's probably not going to be that good. COVID-19 might be affecting it. No, they're still making almost $100 million more than compared to last year. Meet with the East Donbass leader. That's actually already what I'm organizing. I wonder if I can... Doesn't like foreign policy, doesn't like socialist, doesn't like security, but then also doesn't like foreign policy again. Let's select Ukraine. Let's go to diplomacy. Let's go to actions, and then let's manage arms embargoes. Let's go all the way down to Ukraine. Well, I mean, would it make sense to do an arms embargo on Ukraine, but then start funding their other their little separatist group going on? Begin funding the terrorists to dismantle Belgium or something. Jesus Christ. Objectives are a little short. Every year we examine the levels of CO2 emissions worldwide, and we personally inform every world leader of their progress. Results are a little low, but the goal is attainable. We're not too far off. Our efforts are strong, but are still a little short. Let's go ahead and check to see what's going on. For one thing, almost 600,000 cases of the coronavirus right now. Almost 2 million have died from the pandemic in its entire. I mean, it's been going on for about a year now. How many has it killed in China within the year of its reign? It's actually completely wiped out in China. Other countries seem to still be dealing with it. India is having a very, very hard time dealing with it. 945 cases in Turkey, less than 100,000 in the United States. I had to get, man, 1 per 1 million. Out of 300 million. That's probably in the high hundreds of thousands, maybe almost less than a million. Could have been active cases at the time. United Kingdom seems to have wiped it out. Germany is still dealing with that 1,600 cases so far right now. Deaths have started to overtake a lot of the active cases now. Poland is dealing with it. Ukraine is still dealing with it. 5,770 cases so far. About 300,000 have recovered. We have had 1.3 million cases within the Russian Federation. Kazakhstan is still dealing with it. Central Asia, only 19 cases in Turkmenistan. That's actually pretty good. Pakistan's about to eliminate it. 5,000 cases, 13 very, very low amount of cases within Myanmar and Thailand. Laos actually barely even had an outbreak. What, 19 cases? Only 19 cases so far. And then Vietnam dealt with about almost 3,500 cases. Madagascar, let's check on Madagascar. It's 22,000 cases so far, 168 are active at the moment. South Africa usually has a hard time with it, about 1 million cases they've had. In 500 active cases, but then it says there's a high severity level within the outbreak. Democratic Republic of the Congo only had 13,000 cases. Congo completely eliminated it with 78 dying and almost 4,000 cases. Let's check East Africa, since about 5 years ago they did deal with a very, very bad epidemic of the Ebola virus. 21,000 cases, 15,000 cases in Ghana. About 15,000 people died about 5 years ago within that large outbreak that they actually had. South Sudan actually dealt with less than 20,000 cases. Somalia has basically eliminated it. It's either they're eliminating it, especially in these African countries, they might be eliminating it, or they're not having that much fun with dealing with the testing, so they have barely any testing policy so far. But then it's also saying that, I mean, no one's dying from it. Let's check the day. Yeah, so no one's dying from it, so then no one's having it. So Somalia probably actually efficiently dealt with it. About 3,000 cases in war-torn Yemen. 411,000 cases in Saudi Arabia. Alright, let's go back. Health protocols still required in Russian restaurants. We could actually start easing restrictions. What's it going to take for you to be concerned about people? Let's check my numbers real quick. 4,900 cases. Let's go ahead and go to the next day. 4,500 cases. So let's get rid of this song for one thing. And then video game distress. Health. Let's check. No one is using the current stock of antiviral treatment for COVID-19. Medical respirator masks, we're using about 10 million every 2 weeks. We're going to run out in 2022. General respirator masks for the general public. We have about 621 million in stock, and we're going to run out in 2024. And then screening tests, 666,000 across. Let's look. What's going on? Oh, we got a riot.
Law enforcement and members of the far-left party are confronting each other at this very moment on the city streets. The authorities advise residents to stay in their homes and barricade themselves inside. These riots follow the sentencing of an emblematic activist of the movement who violently assaulted a member of the government that he claims had provoked him.
Aww. All right, let's go ahead and deal with this. Left-wing extremists. Let's go ahead and give the army the attack order and see what happens. They're charging in. Looks like all the left-wing activists are starting to flee. Come on. Oh my god, they just threw a grenade at him. Ouch! Oh god, that's not what I wanted. No wonder I lost 4 points in approval. He just threw a grenade at his ass, like, Jesus Christ. Yikes, 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 yikes. Alright, let's go ahead and check the COVID pandemic real quick. 3,000 cases. Once I get to 2,000 cases, I'm gonna open up schools. You know what? I could actually probably open up schools now. Let's go over to schools. Well, reduce classes with all grade levels with health protocols. There's no ban on businesses. I'm not affecting that so far. No ban. Let's do heavily contaminated regions only. Closing, opening permitted. Let's do closing recommended for heavily contaminated regions only. Which that should not affect that much of the economy. If it does, then I'm just gonna go straight to no ban. 2,600 cases. Let's go ahead and check, see what's going on in several of these places. Looks like we're not using that many ICU beds anymore. We should not be using ICU beds at all, I guess. ICU beds available, 38,623. Yeah, we're not. Looks like no one's had. That's why we're not using any antiviral treatments, because we're not using any ICU beds, so we're not having any severe cases so far. So the pandemic has actually subsided pretty substantially. Let's go over here to unemployment, and we're spending 2.25 billion dollars on partial unemployment so far. Regulate economic activity. Let's go ahead and go over to no regulation. That should actually instigate a lot of growth. Public finances have done way better. Let's go ahead and see what the immediate effects of that are so far. And what we should probably see is that the amount of people pulling from unemployment should actually start going down since we have no regulation on the economy so far now.
The decree takes effect as of today.
So then what I could actually do, let's go over here. Let's go to policy on distribution of masks. This is 10 million over the next 2 weeks. So this is not in thousands. Whenever you see this number right here, this is not in thousands. This is actually the actual number that you need in the next 2 weeks. So this is actually 10,043,591. It is not, again, it says it's in thousands, but the only time it's going to be in thousands is whenever you're looking at something like this. This is going to be in the thousands, but whenever you actually click on this where it actually allows you to manage the policy of it, then you're going to then those are going to be within the actual numbers. Because I mean, yeah, this is the literal actual number probably. Yeah, what, 504,000 tests, 505,000 next 2 weeks. So hey, what's going on, General Neville? Welcome to the live stream. How do the new features work? Are they working properly? There are a couple of features that are actually not working. I've never seen PG go to war. What's the point of going to war? I just don't like to go to war. Sell oil to North Korea or China? Why North Korea? They don't even like me. What's going on over here? $17 billion. Who the hell is that? Oh man, that does not look like... It kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Just looks like... I don't know, they did a very good job on... PG should go to war with Estonia or something. Oh, poor Estonia. Poor Estonia. Looks like we got a couple hundred cases right there.
The decree takes effect.
President of Togo. Let's go ahead and refuse that meeting. The Togo is not going to be that important to me. What's going on over here? We have a plague outbreak in Africa. So not only are they dealing with the coronavirus, but they are dealing with the plague. Do a flyover Estonia like in real life. PG go to war and show us the new features. Okay. I'll tell you what. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try out the Blitzkrieg scenario, or I could literally just start off a brand new game without COVID, and then I could show off the missile system. I really want to try out the missile system and the ICBM system. So let me go ahead and see if I can try to eliminate COVID in Russia over the next couple of weeks, and then I'm going to go ahead and start on a new game to show off the military features. Let's go ahead and see what the number of deaths for the Russian Federation were. We have about 23,000 cases, 23,000 deaths throughout an entire year of dealing with this pandemic is actually the best I've actually done. I mean, in the United States, I usually lose a couple of 100,000. Turkey, even, well, in Turkey, I actually kept it under 10,000 deaths, even whenever I actually ran out of ICU beds. I ran out of ICU beds as Turkey, and that was not a fun time. Georgia, let's see what's going on over here. 9 active cases within the Republic. 2,600 cases entirely. 1.36 million cases of the coronavirus in the Russian Federation. Let's go over to the next day. Yeah, we're definitely on our way to eliminating the coronavirus. Changing the other half. Cold spell. We have a cold spell in the Murmansk region. Moskovskaya. This is the Murmanskaya. This is the Murmansk region, not Moskovskaya. How to improve faster Moroccan economy. I've actually never played as Morocco. Let the Earth Blitz commence. Hassan, lower taxes and trade with other countries. Yes, sir. That's actually one of the best ways to do it. I'm actually on my way to making a brand new. I'm actually on my way to making a brand new economic tutorial for the new edition. So, over in the next couple of weeks, I should actually. I'm gonna try to get it done within the next 2 weeks. Honestly. I'm going to work really, really hard on it, try to do my research. I'm going to start working with people. If anyone wants to help me, by the way, I want to have help. If anyone wants to help me make the economic tutorial by doing testing, giving me ideas, anything like that, I will gladly accept your help and you will be put in the credits of the video. I want to make this video about maybe an hour long because, I mean, the last one was about 45 minutes. So if anyone wants to help me in making some sort of just any sort of way, basically. I mean, putting our knowledge together to figure out how the economy works in Power and Revolution. That would be the biggest thing. It's going to be it could be a community effort if I can make a community effort. So if you guys are interested, please let me know if you want to be a part of that. And you will be put into the credits of the video for the economic tutorial. So again, that is on the table. Paper, let's see what my paper production is. We have a 1-star technological level. Can't you just avoid COVID by closing borders before the outbreak? I actually did that. I did it as Russia, China. No, I did it as someone, and I actually stopped COVID from coming in for a couple of days, and then someone else came in. I think I was playing as Turkey whenever I tried that, and it worked, but then a couple of days later someone's gonna get in. So it's inevitable that you're going to get COVID. It's a matter of how strict your policy can be against COVID. So even it's not about whether you can stop it from coming into your country, because you're gonna have to deal with it anyway. If one person gets into your country, it is almost impossible right now, at least, to stop that person from getting into contact with other people. Because if one person gets it, you know, you're basically, even if you lock down on that point, and what I actually did as Turkey, someone arrived into the central Anatolian region let me go ahead and get rid of this. Someone arrived in the central Anatolian region of Turkey whenever I actually first started playing as Turkey. And then so I said, okay, I'm gonna do a lockdown from 1 kilometer from your house. It was this one right here, this option. If I go over to COVID and then nationwide travel, I put it over to less than 1 kilometer of residence except for essential reasons for all contaminated regions. And then about a week or two later, it ended up spreading over to the Aegean region, the Mediterranean region, and then it spread over to the Black Sea and Marmara region. So it was almost impossible to stop it from spreading, I guess, because someone's literally someone. All it takes is for one person to sneak through. All it takes is for one person, and then that's how you get an epidemic on your hands. You can keep the country closed for as long as possible in the U.S. A loss to Chuck Schumer without winning a single state after reopening. Elections need a rework. Well, actually, even while I actually played as the United States again, and I actually won all 50 states basically. So whenever I actually did that, I actually won all 50 states, but then I ended up having to resign because the social unrest was so great that my approval just tanked by the time the election was over. So kinda, I don't think it was an issue with the election. I think the election worked the way it was supposed to, because I basically did the exact same policies that I usually do for every election that I work on, and I won by the same margin. I mean, I was winning like what, 40% to 30% in every state, and the only district that I did not win was the District of Columbia. So it works. The election system works. It's just a matter of what the hell you were doing. It's on you. If you lose the election, it might be because of you. And if there's a bug that you notice in the game, yeah, that's definitely the game, but I don't know. PG was Richard Nixon. Yes, sir, I was. I am not a crook. Another big thing that you really need to
affected by the disaster
pay attention to.
Very precarious
Excuse
situation.
me? Don't be a riot. Please don't be a riot.
Lost a lot, and even everything, and are asking the state for
What?
help to survive. So tell me,
This
what
just
budget
in.
do you want to
The country
allocate
has
to
officially
compensate
and
victims
proudly
and
announced the release
reconstruct
of
the
a
affected
vaccine
areas?
produced by one of its most prestigious laboratories. After the development phase, testing on animals and then humans, researchers have just confirmed production. The world can breathe.
Oh, that's the vaccination. All right, let's go ahead and buy it in bulk from the United States. COVID-19 vaccine. Purchase policy. United States. Let's go ahead and buy 25 million vaccinations. I'm going to go ahead and buy about 200 million vaccinations from the United States. And we're going to watch as the epidemic comes to a close. So I think that was 100. It's 125. Population vaccinated 0. 125. 150. I have about 140 million people. 175. 200. Let's go over to the next day. 188 dead from that cold wave in the Murmansk region. Let's go over here. 1.41. Our stock market is on its way up, so that means that our economy is doing a lot better. What was this? February 13th. 2021, the United States discovers a vaccine. So what I actually noticed, and the reason I started playing as Russia first, is because I noticed that the Russians usually, I don't know if these guys are like increasing their research like beyond what it's supposed to be at, or normally. I don't know if they're giving it like full stars or something like that. By the way, look who the president of the United States is. Good old Chuck. Good old freaking Chuck Schumer is the president of the United States. Looks like he won that election, probably by a landslide. We're going to go ahead and check, actually. Previous election, 2016, we won 57% of the vote. Let's go ahead and see what happened in the United States. 56% to 43%. Looks like around what polls are showing right now, except Joe Biden's not pulling 56%. Now, what I want to know... 47 to 45. Very close in Michigan. 48 to 47. Almost comfortable in Wisconsin. 48 to 48. 0.8% in Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure this electoral map could be wrong. Because there's no way the Republican president can lose the election by only losing Michigan out of the entire electoral map. I mean, this would be, what, 290 electoral votes to 245, around that? Yeah, like, there's no way. I mean, especially if you win, especially if the Republican Party won North Carolina and Florida, it would make sense if they lost one of these states, but if they're winning North Carolina, Florida, and then Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, that's at least 290 electoral votes. So, I don't know what happened there. Is also near, does Burundi seem to have a disproportionate amount of disasters in every game? I mean, I mean, it makes sense. Let's go ahead and check Burundi, actually. Let's go over here. Rwanda. Let's go over to Burundi. Unemployment's kind of normal. Growth's at 2.8%. What about GDP? 4.15 billion in the beginning of the game, dropped to about 4 billion, and now it's at 4.21 billion. Let's go ahead and check over here, and then let's look at the coronavirus vaccines. And one more batch of 25 million vaccination should do the trick. That's going to be 200 million vaccinations. Sukablieting intensifies. The closing of restaurants, bars, and cafes continues to be recommended. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of it. 573 cases so far in the Russian Federation. Let's go ahead and alleviate most of our restrictions, gatherings. Ban on... Let's do the whole country. Okay, let's go ahead and move it up to 1,000 people. Cafes, bars, and restaurants. And then let's do no ban on the restaurants. Borders closed for citizens of at-risk countries. Let's open the borders a little bit. Limited public transport with health regulations. The average PG wants to stream every day. Jesus. Schools. Let's go ahead and do no regulation on schools. 500 cases should not be that much of an issue, and even then, if we do have another outbreak on our hands, then we are going to get the vaccination literally by that time, so we're not going to have to deal with it. Be aware of the consequences of lifting the lockdown, Mr. President. Okay, so there's something for that too. Not only whenever you go into the lockdown, but whenever you lift the lockdown. Mr. President, in light of your announcement of some return to normalcy regarding the freedom of movement, all opposition movements and the people as a whole will be able to resume their old anti-authority impulses and return to the streets if they want to. So you will be able to quickly determine if, during this period of lockdown, our citizens have built up any resentment toward the administration. Oh God. Did not know that it was a hotbed of leaving people in lockdown for like an entire year and then coming back. Oh my God, by the way, look who it is. Look who it is. Can anyone tell me who this is? Please tell me you recognize that face. I don't know why they put her face in here, but look who this person... The 2020 edition, I swear to God. I swear to God. We got dinosaurs. We got freaking Greta Thunberg. Jesus Christ. Idiot child. Someone said idiot child. Global warming underachiever. Your policies are not consistent with the objectives jointly established by the countries of the world in the various conferences on climate. You should know that we are going to make this non-engagement known on social media network. Wow, Mr. Thunberg. Thunberg. Okay, it's Greta Thunberg. I believe that's how you say her name. But yeah, freaking Faye Garwis. They had to change her name completely. I bet they wouldn't even go anywhere near naming her Greta. But that is definitely has to be Greta. So finally, in Power and Revolution, even in Power and Revolution, you can still get screamed at by a kid. Bad road. We're gonna watch the vaccination process play out. We have 155 cases. We basically eliminated COVID. 80 cases. We're gonna watch it hit 0. Speaking of, I want to check one of my services. Let's look at fast food. Let's go over to COVID-19. We've lost about $200 million worth of revenue for the fast food sector. The fast food sector really seems to be having a hard time in this game. Public finances. Oh, let's go ahead and lift that lockdown as well. Let's go to coronavirus screening tests. We have enough. The vaccine still have 200 million on the way. I want to see how quickly we can actually get people vaccinated. Hey, what's going on, Patriot? Welcome to the live stream. We have discovered the COVID-19, or the United States has discovered. The United States has discovered the COVID-19 vaccination. Let's go ahead and do this for one. Let's do 25 hospitals across the country. Why did Joe Biden didn't replace Chuck in this edition? There is actually a Joe Biden character that you can actually play as, but the game basically... The way the game works is it's all centered on how French politics work. Most of the what do you call it? The features from this game are based on how French government works. So one of the things about French government is that the way elections work in France is that the leaders of the parties actually are the ones that run. And that's actually similar to how it works in the United Kingdom as well with the Winchester system. However, the French system basically is the leader of the party is in a presidential election. It's like a presidential election, but it goes through 2 rounds. And then, it's always going to be the leader of the party. So in every country, it's going to be based on that. It's always going to be the leader of the party who is going to be doing that. So in the United States, it's going to be Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is going to be the default character that actually will be able to run because he is the top of the Democratic Party. It's always going to be who's at the top of the Democratic Party. You would have to basically put Joe Biden into the government, which he's not in the government. So it kind of doesn't make sense to make him, so you can make him a character that can run in the primaries, but you can't make him a default character that is already in government whenever right now he's not in government. Let's go ahead and do this meeting with Vietnam. Purchase of grapes. This could actually... Well, no, he wants to buy grapes, so we could actually sell him grapes. Let's do 1,280. 1,213. Oh, that sucks. Could you fund terrorists in Corsica or Scotland? You probably could. This is the flag of Corsica. And then this is the flag of Sardinia. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to butcher any names right now. Rome is not in its own region. It's actually in the Lazio region. What about the Holy See? Let's go ahead and see what happened in the Holy See during this pandemic. 12. Oh, look at that. 14,713 per 1 million. Only because there is so few people with that many. I mean, how many people are in Vatican City? Yeah, 804 people. Look at that. You can actually... Can I destroy the Vatican? National capital. 1% of the population. Alright, let's see what's going on in Russia. 15 cases now in the Russian Federation. And we have hit 0 cases. 0 cases. We have officially eliminated the coronavirus from the Russian Federation. 0 active cases so far. We lost 23,424 citizens during the duration of this pandemic. We actually did not suffer a second wave. This is actually big. I went through the entirety of this pandemic without suffering a second wave of the pandemic. If you actually look, you'll see an initial spike in Germany, and you'll see a little bit of a resurgence. There was a resurgence in Germany, and there was a resurgence in France. There was an initial outbreak in the United Kingdom. For some reason, the United Kingdom really gets a handle on it, even though they suffer so many cases and so many deaths within a short period of time. Boris Johnson, are you still Prime Minister? Yes, sir, he is. Spain, active cases. Let's look at the United States, see what they're going through. 30,000 cases right now. Here's the initial outbreak within the United States, and then here was the second wave, and then they had a little bit of a resurgence right toward the end, but then they eliminated it. Still haven't eliminated it yet, but they have. 3,000 people were infected in Estonia. 38 people died in Latvia, and in Lithuania, 213 people died. 108 died in Estonia. Can you buy or build ports and invest in foreign companies like China is doing? Unfortunately, that is not a feature yet. That is actually something you should probably suggest to Eversim. That would actually be really cool. 5G for startups. We all have a dream of future unicorns under our brand. Internet businesses that will conquer the world with new innovative services. But to do that, we have to cultivate a more fertile field, which is going to be 5G. Believe me. I meet these hyperactive startup founders every day. They will not hesitate to leave if we are incapable of providing a modern framework that fits its name. Alright, let's go over to media. Let's go to my national anthem. My approval rating really stood true. Let's go to 5G. Let's do 20%. No, give Poland to Russia. Give Poland Kaliningrad. Hell yeah, let's give Poland Kaliningrad for whatever reason. Report on Russian telecommunicating, a symbol of a modern nation. The committee I had commissioned to study telecommunicating in our country has submitted their report. It turns out this way of doing business is growing thanks to our infrastructures that allow us to have a high-speed internet connection and good coverage. The benefits are numerous: less commuting time, a reduce in pollution, less office space needed, and thus fewer businesses' expenses, and revitalization of the countryside. To anticipate your question, Mr. President, no, it will not allow you to avoid the meeting with the director and his team on Monday morning because of video conferencing made possible because of the super high-speed internet is now a part of daily professional life. Now, I actually remember this was actually on the 2019 edition, whenever they actually introduced if I actually go over to media, that was whenever they introduced the media infrastructures. So this was actually, I mean, I don't know what it is with Eversim and predicting things, but they are doing a very good job to predict stuff. They actually, and I think they did this, I don't know if it was the 2014 edition, but they kind of predicted ISIS. I don't know, I really need to check on the time frame, but they kind of did predict ISIS. And it was really weird because this was in Masters of the World. Masters of the World came out in 2013, so I don't know. I wasn't paying attention whenever ISIS first became a thing, but whenever that happened, it really freaked me out because there was actually an option whenever you would be playing as the United States to withdraw all your forces from Baghdad. But whenever you do that a couple of months later, basically what would happen is there would be civil and political unrest in Iraq, and it would basically tell you, dude, this is a civil war happening in Iraq right now. This is bad, and this is all because you just pulled out our troops. So, I don't know, Eversim, what's going on? Please explain to me. Just reunite the USSR. No. Make me. Speaking of, we do need to test out the big, what do you call it? The military. I want to test out the anti-missile defense. I'm going to play as 2 different countries and start launching missiles at each other.
I have to tell you that I am...
Alright. Let's go over to COVID-19. General public, let's go ahead and, reserved for essential service staff. Let's go ahead and do that for the entire country. It's going to be food, public health, and preceding line, and it's going to be for police as well. COVID-19 vaccination. Let's see whenever I'm supposed to get those. 3/24/2021. Let's go ahead and go to 3/24/2021. Take back Alaska. I actually saw a video on that yesterday. It was one of those alt history videos, like what if the Russians like stayed in Alaska or something like that. Like how he's still wearing a mask. Police gatherings on more than 1,000 people. Let's do gatherings. No ban on gatherings throughout the entire country. No regulation on schools. No ban on restaurants. Businesses are working as they are. No regulation on population lockdown. Let's go ahead and do no regulation on nationwide travel and use of public transport. Limited public transport. Let's do no regulation on that. Borders closed for citizens of at-risk countries. So we're not dealing with that. So keep an eye on the COVID crisis. Still make sure there is no one that is infected while we wait for the vaccination.
I want it.
So 3 regulations have just been eliminated. You're going to have to deal with COVID-3. There's a 3rd one? So I guess in the default scenario, not only are you actually dealing with the first one, but you're also probably going to deal with one in 2022 or 2023.
The epidemic has almost stopped spreading in the last several days. Health authorities have officially announced the end of related special measures. There will no doubt remain isolated cases here and there that can create clusters, so we will treat them specifically with screening tests and research and then place any patients into quarantine. At this stage, the epidemic has little chance of starting again, but we need to remain cautious. I will let you know if the prospect of a new outbreak should appear.
Okay. Okay, so that's good. That is awesome. So it tells you whenever the epidemic actually comes to an end in your country. Ben Affleck and Nicolas Cage, yes sir. The sequel starring Ben Affleck and Nicolas Cage. You're gonna have to deal with the COVID-3, so I guess... so yeah, that's actually really cool. So they really did do a really good job on the years following. I mean, we're probably going to be seeing like an in-depth analysis. I really need to email them and say like, hey, how long do these games usually happen? Like, how long is COVID relevant within the 2020s of the game? Because it has to be throughout the entirety of this entire decade that they probably worked on. If maybe if it there could be a possibility that it was about wait. Mr. President, since the epidemic is now behind us, the economic activity has bounced back. International creditors who agreed to a deficit overshoot of 10% due to extraordinary circumstances are now urging us to return to our former situation. To be more specific, we are now given a period of 18 months to get back to roughly the budget deficit we had in early 2020. They will assess the situation every month to make sure that this return is indeed progressive. Were it not the case, we would expose ourselves to a market discontent that would potentially lead us in an extreme situation to a state bankruptcy, which they would decide to be would they decide, okay, this is kind of weird to read, I don't know if I'm dyslexic or not, to permanently end all loan offers, which I will remind you what allow us to run the country every day. Jesus Christ, so like in 18 months they're literally just gonna say, all right, no more loans, just get out of here. What is our budget situation right now? 1.33%, so we need to get it to about that excess that it was. Capture process, looks like we discovered both of those, so that's really good. Huh? Okay, so that's awesome. That's really cool. It tells you specifically what sectors need help and how much they need. So not only can you do that on your own, you do have your Minister of Economy coming out and saying, hey, you need to help out these sectors. Financial support and $260 million would help the industry through the crisis and minimize layoffs and bankruptcies. And that is going to be for the water supply network. That is actually one of the most important sectors in the game. So of all the sectors that we could actually see fail, it's going to be the water supply network. $260 million. They're making what? They're making $1 billion more since the previous year. Let's give them $300 million worth of bailouts just to help them out since our minister told us to do it. We have a meeting with Serbia. Let's go ahead and meet up with Serbia. And again, we're waiting for March 25th, 23rd to the 25th, just to see what happens whenever we actually get a vaccination out to our people.
The decree takes.
Don't know why he's still wearing a mask. Work. Let's look at work. 1.7%. So let's go ahead and do 0% of the previous salary. What about economic activity? So that's okay. We might see we saw a 10-point drop in the social rating because of that.
Analysis, coupled with the Brown model on group psychotectonics, has allowed us to identify a.
No, industry in trouble. Water supply networks, $260 million. We already got that. And for those who are watching right now, we have 45 people watching this video as of right now. So again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, if you want to see more Power and Revolution content as we wait for the Steam edition to release. Again, you must subscribe to the channel in order to see that. Hit that bell notification icon just to be notified whenever I go live and whenever I make a video. I will be making more Power and Revolution content very, very soon, especially continuing the United States series after a long hiatus. And I do apologize for that hiatus, but I've only been waiting for the 2020 edition to release since I don't know how long ago. Do 10% on the industrial pollution tax. Yeah, that's another tax I haven't been touching that much. It really did not let me touch during the pandemic. Let's do 4%, 51%, and
Good.
Let's see what Serbia wants. They want bauxites. Oh, they want to sell us bauxite, actually. Only 371,000 tons. Let's go ahead and refuse that, but then let's propose a non-aggression treaty.
No.
Let's offer her a coffee. Well, doesn't want me to do that, but at least we got a military agreement going on with Serbia. Sounds a little bit World War I-ish, but we have to keep things practical and not to be proud. A good idea would be to find a rich donor who can boost the party's bank account. These people are approachable, which it is up to you. Still a nuclear disaster happening in North. Over a year and 200,000 people are not dead, so I guess Everson may have fixed that because it was always killing so many people. Foreigners a threat. Looks like immigration is something that she really likes to do. Partial unemployment measures. About 1 million people? 1.3 million people are being affected. Current total cost of that. So let's look at my budget. Partial unemployment, $3 billion for some reason. I don't even know I cut it. Commercial response to the energy grid. Let's see what my... We have a surplus of 300 terawatts. I don't know why I'm screwing up on my words so much. Okay, we got about a week until vaccination is released in Russia. Let's go ahead and check on the outbreak within the United States. Looks like the United States has eliminated the outbreak. So even though we're going to get this, what do you call it? Even though we're going to get this vaccine, we are very, very likely to suffer through a second pandemic in only a couple of years. And 24th. Let's do the 25th. Let's go over to health. Let's go to the COVID-19 vaccination. Seems not to...
The bill has been...
Let's look. Hey, what's going on, Commendator? Welcome to the live stream. Hey, what's going on, Jaden Jones? Again, welcome to the live stream. Can you use the God and Spy so I see no reason to use it? Is that... Were you asking me just to use it? I mean, I'm about to get off of this game anyway, since I've eliminated the first pandemic. We haven't gone through the second pandemic, but we're going to go through another one. I actually need to mute myself real quick. Phone call. It's just saw my mic disable for a second, so I'm just making sure you guys can hear me. OBS says that y'all can hear me, so it should be okay. What is it? PG, do you have to put your activation code in every time you start the game, or is mine just bugged? Probably, you should probably email Eversim about that. I've never had that issue before. I have the Windows edition of the game, and I'm not asked to put in my activation code in every single time I go into the game. I just start it as I would on Steam. And I actually have it connected over to Steam for the Windows edition, just so I can take screenshots. Let's keep looking. Alright, looks like population vaccinated, 4 million already vaccinated. And we're already chewing through our stock. Order of the COVID
is in production.
Nice.
It is urgent that we order some. We will not be the only ones who want it, and the more we wait, the more difficult it will be to procure some quickly.
Okay, so does that mean that the Russian Federation has discovered the COVID-19 vaccine? Or is it because people are already getting vaccinated? COVID-19, 7 million people have now been vaccinated. So let me check my population real quick, just to make sure I got 200 million. So I probably should be able to handle that. 146 million people to be vaccinated.
Perspective analysis coupled with the...
Let's say refuse, and let's continue checking on a situation with the coronavirus vaccine. Antiviral treatment, we got 200 million of those units, literally for no reason. 8 million have been vaccinated. Let's go ahead and go forward about a week. Oh, my mic is loud. Yikes. Mic is loud. Don't know why my mic sometimes does that. I noticed how like it was going up very, very high. So that should probably work. Yeah, that's definitely a lot better. Has the president changed in the game in Belarus? Let's actually check, because I've been hearing a lot of stuff going about in Belarus. No, got a stock character in the game. That's actually a missed opportunity because he literally just got reelected. Did they simulate the election in Belarus? Communist Organization 2020. 56.5% of the vote. What's going on in these countries? Poland, Germany, France. 2017 was their previous election. They're probably going to have an election this year, actually. 383 days, so we're going to have it in 2022. Can you show the Belgian Prime Minister in the game? Let's go ahead and do that. The Belgian Prime Minister, Louis Roberts. About 681 days into his tenure, 1,147 left in that. That means he has about 4 years. How long are the prime ministers in Belgium kept in there? Federal monarchy and a federal republic. Still the old guy. He's not even our prime minister, LMAO.
Respective analysis,
United States,
with
the
Brown model,
Chinese mafia. RFID chips. Let's say refuse to putting that out there. Let's go over to health. Let's go to the vaccine. 18 million people have been vaccinated so far. 181 million vaccinations are left.
Our governmental cell informed.
Let's say no. 20 million people have been vaccinated. Can you show the Algerian president? Let's look. Got an actual character in there, Zatoni. 732 days into his tenure, 1,100 days left in his tenure. 10% growth. 10% growth. Let's go ahead and check on my currency. Yeah, we are having a rebound of inflation. So because of that, let's go ahead and increase the interest rate just a tiny bit. Just in response. It should encourage savings with fewer demands and induce deflationary action. Let's go over to finance. 10% growth. About to hit about, $2 trillion in growth. $300 million. We started at $1.8 trillion in GDP. We actually sunk below that, well below that. And now we are skyrocketing above that. In Algeria, doesn't look like they actually re-elected him. I mean, well, 733 days. No, yeah. He got this guy should have been elected in 2019. According to 733 days ago, assuming that, I mean, definitely wasn't in 2020, so it had to be in 2019 that he possibly got elected. And let's check his election, actually. Yep, 2019, I was correct. The Green Party is actually, this guy's a Green. Huh. 29% of the Green Party actually won in 99 seats. 175. I mean, They won the presidential election, but then they lost considerably in the parliament. So this guy is a freaking green. No, he's a socialist. Why is the Social Front? No, oh, presidential? This is kind of confusing. This is kind of weird. Who is the president in the Philippines election? Philippines. Duterte is still there. He is about 400 days from the next election. In India, Prime Minister Modi is still there.
Although
your economy is among the healthiest. Well, looks like we actually solved that 18-month issue. We also have tax revenues of almost 500 billion, over 500 billion dollars that actually jumped by about 12 billion. It's mostly because of our growth. Our growth is really starting to help. We're closing in on a stock market worth of about 3,000 points. We're very close to getting about $2 trillion in our GDP. Let's go ahead and check on the water supply networks, make sure that they are not going to collapse from underneath our feet. Gave them $300 million in the previous economic stimulus, so we should be good. The Algerian president used to be a disabled guy.
One week.
Did not know that. Moscow Film Festival should be good, since we are not dealing with any... Whoa, is that... We just lost troops. We are currently under attack. We just lost a lot of troops. Syrian Brethren of Islam. They've killed 9 of our troops. Let me... They sent troops in literally to attack. Okay, let's get this guy to launch a missile. He got a missile on the way. President of Russia's father has passed away, unfortunately. Emptiness in the labs. Bad road. Still got a missile on the way. Check Iraq for their president has resigned. Drop a missile on him. Yes, sir, we already are dropping a missile. They did fix the Iraqi flag. They actually had the Ba'athist flag beforehand. Looks like we don't have this guy. He's about 1,000 days into his tenure. We got 2 missiles on the way. Where'd it go? Oh, it's probably still on the way. It's probably hidden by the fog of war. Yeah. So they actually captured that base. Alright. Looks like we just lost our only foothold in the Middle East by gonna have to deal with that. Boom. Speaking of, I know satellites actually are a lot quicker. Wow, look at how quick that is. Yes, that is beautiful. That is beautiful, 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 beautiful. Satellites are now quick as hell. Yeah, we got a satellite right here. 162 armed extremists in Safria. The Libyan flag used to be green before this stuff happened. Yeah, the stuff. Let's just call it the stuff. That's it. There is a there's a refugee camp. I'm sorry. I don't know why they would put that in the middle of the ocean. That's kind of insensitive. That is the most ever sim. What is going on with the 2020 edition? Why is there a refugee camp in the middle of the ocean? People are dying in the middle of the ocean right here. There are people that are actually moving from Libya to like Italy, Greece. They're trying to like get out of here, and they put hey, let's just mark an icon on a map and say there's a refugee camp in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Like, let's see what happens. Oh my god, that is horrible. They're half European, half African. Oh my god. I cannot believe however this happened, there's no freaking way. I swear to, how many refugees does it have? I need a satellite. I need to know. Oh man, the closest one is in the Atlantic. Let's see how many there are. Man, the closest satellite. I really need more satellites. Let's go ahead and move some satellites over Libya. See how quick they move. Yeah, look how quick they are now. Oh, the communists want me to do something. Don't want to say the name so you won't get demonetized. Yeah, I know. Don't get me demonetized. Got a satellite out there moving in. Let's see. 100 and... There's 129,000 people on this freaking refugee camp in the middle of the ocean. Can you imagine just sailing out, just like an Italian or Greek naval vessel? This isn't Greek territorial waters. The Greeks, are just like patrolling their national waters, just having their own mighty day in the Mediterranean Sea. And they go out and they see just like a city, 129,000 people just sitting in the middle of the ocean. Epic geopolitics moves right there, I know, right? Oh man, I cannot believe that. That is hilarious. Do what Putin does best. Kerfuffle the refugee camp. I really like, instead of saying kerfuffle, I'm not gonna steal that. I know exactly who that's from, and I cannot say it like that. So I really need to think of another name whenever I talk about destroying, killing, anything like that in this game, at least. I really need to. Jesus Christ, why did I say it out loud on stream? Oh man, I love this game. Alex the Rambler, yeah. I love Alex the... I just discovered Alex the Rambler, and I love him. He's really cool. Get lollipopped. Yeah, hell yeah. We just have the Charlottes just playing every single time. Let's get this up to 10%. 0.1% at least. Now it's letting me get money off of it. Have you ever played Hoi 4? I have, but I suck at it. Give $3 billion to Central Africa for a month and watch their inflation grow. That's literally their entire economy. Jesus Christ. Central African Republic. Actually... Oh, no. Wait, what did that say? This action may force your army to violate the territory of a third country, which could lead to further conflicts. Thank you. Let's give aid. 0.15% of our GDP. Let's give literally the entire GDP of the Central African Republic to them. And they said a month. Let's just do 2 weeks. Let's go over to health. Let's see. Vaccine. 51 million vaccinations have now been given out. New space program. Effective security services. Ministerial target in China.
The very large
Alright, looks like the
the
Moscow Film Festivals actually work now. So after the pandemic, we're finally the laboratory. Let's Ukraine.
Prospective analysis.
The
coupled
Russian
with the Brown model
mafia. No, god dang it. Biodegradable plastic. Let's go ahead and patent that. It's 2.1. Yep, that's gonna be it. I bet their inflation is bad now. Whole world gives Africa aid. Are you saying the whole world is Russia? National deficit negative 109%. Literally their entire budget revenue is coming from me. Inflation is 1.77%. Their unemployment is 3.62%. Their growth seems to have gone up. Let's go ahead and actually double check that. Growth forecast. Let's do the Central African Republic. Crap. There we go. Growth forecast. I mean, it's actually kind of topped off since we started giving them aid. Yeah, look at that. 11% budget deficit, and as soon as we give them aid, it drops down to negative 116%. Population seems to be going up. Kind of started to half off, I guess. Let's check the pandemic. 9,000 active cases from almost, 10 million active cases at one point, all the way now to 9,000 active cases. Comparison to seasonal flu has a rate of 0.1%. That is the mortality rate, actually. This is the global threat screen, which COVID-19 has finally been put in there. Cause global warming, cause overpopulation, cause COVID-19. Estimated risk percentage of a major uncontrollable pandemic. I mean, I think that's exactly what we went through. Unemployment, 10%. Average world is 10%. Mine is probably not 7%. I mean, cause COVID-19 effect is social inequality. World social inequality is literally at 50%. Extinction of species. Speaking of, I could literally bring species back. Legislation. Wow, look at that. Unemployment is finally... It was literally for 3 months. I had 0 unemployment for December, January, and February. After February, I mean, February is whenever it started going up, but Drew loves Chad even though it's chaotic there. Yeah, that's literally just because it's Chad. It's literally called Chad. Why would you not like a country called Chad? Anyway, let's go ahead and keep checking on the Central African Republic. I'm really considering just giving them money. Look at them. They hate me. They hate me. What is my economic relations with them? Negative 41. Watch, I'm gonna cut aid. Watch their national deficit just jump. You must safeguard jobs. I don't have an outbreak. What about the Central African Republic? They're not having an outbreak. Chad doesn't have an outbreak. Who's the only one in the world that has COVID-19 right now? What about this? 109%. That thing is going to go back to 11%. I think I just caused their entire economy to collapse. Traffic is jammed. See, now we're complaining about the things that, like, that are normal. I mean, we're dealing with things about normalcy. This is what the return to normalcy looks like. I mean, you just saw us go through a pandemic, and now we're normal. We're bickering at each other, sending and receiving aid. Finally. But anyway, let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to go ahead and play that on my own time, and I'm going to go ahead and go on a couple of years just to see what happens. If I actually do have a resurgence into COVID-19, if a SARS-CoV-3 actually comes back, then I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Just so I can deal with it, since it would basically be like me bending it's basically the COVID-19 one and the sequel. The sequel, yeah. Let's figure out a country that we want to do real quick. And for those who are watching right now, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Super chatting is always appreciated. I really do appreciate it whenever you guys help me out. Let's go ahead and play as the head of state of Russia, and then let's go to... Let's do Iran and Iraq. I forgot to turn COVID off, damn it. Okay, we're gonna have to do this really quick. Okay, let's go over to Iraq. Do the military base. Let's do taxation. Just so we don't have to worry about the budget. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Extraordinary revenues. Jesus Christ. What was it before? Okay, that doesn't make sense at all, but okay. Come on. Get rid of this song. No! God, I'm gonna lose my copyright license if I do that. Okay, let's go over to Army. Here. Anti-aircraft missile batteries. Let's do 200 grade 3. And then go to the next day. 2020, an unforgettable year. Yeah, I get it. Hacker skills, hell yeah. Screamfire when you empty all the missiles. Should invade Bahrain and Iran because they have a weak military. I mean, Bahrain. I mean, they have an American military base. You want to attack the one place that actually has the Americans in there. I mean, to be fair, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar all have American military bases there. UAE doesn't, but they do have French bases. Okay, let's get most of my missile launchers. Oh, God. Let's get 25. of our missile launch. And then all we need to do is just launch a missile at them, I guess. Basically have Patriot missiles. Simple recommendation, current health data. High-speed rail line from Baghdad to Tehran and back to Istanbul and then Muscat. Where's Muscat? Speaking of, I mean, even if I did, I mean, hell, I could actually build a high-speed rail line between Tehran and Baghdad because for some reason in the game now, I mean, they have very close relations with each other. It actually surprised me whenever I saw how close Iran and Iraq actually are. I mean, if I look at this, they have good strategic relations, but they really don't like each other economically. So on an economic standpoint, so I guess that's not what's going to be able to happen. All right, let's go over to Iran. Let's declare war. Attack. Iran. Oh, speaking of, let's just do a missile. Just
We're going to start firing on
just one single missile. Seems to be ignoring it. Well, I mean, it's not even deployed. It's not kind of like it's supposed to stop. Okay, there we go. Oh, crap. Boom. Okay, so it automatically launches. That is really cool. That's smart. Just build a railway through the whole world and with God and Spy. Yeah. So we got 2 missile launchers now deployed. So let's try this again, since they are deployed. So anything that actually comes in, you will be able to destroy. Okay, so that's the missile launcher. Let's launch another missile. Let's go back to Iraq and... So does that intercept the missile, does it? Yes, it does. It is active missile defense. That is awesome. That is... honestly one of the best additions, I guess, because I mean, it basically lets you set these things up as you would actually, because missile defense is one of the most important things. So you can literally set this into any region that you wish. There are Iranian units heading into my territory. Let's go ahead and deploy. That was a let's hit a drone. Okay, so the drone is literally almost completely out of my range. Let's go ahead and set up some anti-missile defense. So if you actually get these things to have pretty good coverage over your entire strategic area, especially like if you do this in the northern, southern regions, you could basically completely protect yourself from the enemy air forces. The only reason that this thing is not that efficient right now is literally because they're not set up. They have to have that little thing on the ground to be able to properly engage enemies. Yeah, see, now it's starting to protect this southern region right here. So, pretty good idea, especially whenever you're playing some of these other countries. Definitely have some anti-missile defenses set up in specific regions, mostly along the border, maybe protecting your capital region, especially whenever things start to get really tense, I guess. Do that over your biggest cities, places you really don't want to get hit by missiles, and make sure that those things are online before you go to war. And I will be right back again. Alright, I apologize for that. Mainly, it's not because we're going to war or something like that or something. I'm not attacking it out of specificness. Mainly, I'm just trying to show off the anti-missile systems, which work beautifully. Work very nicely. Looks like we're under heavy attack right now. 75 missiles. What is that? Let's look at this guy. The F4 Phantom, that's funny. Oh, he only hit him once. There we go. Let's hit 7,000 Iranian troops that are on the way toward Baghdad. Let's see how many we can actually get. Oh, that was about 300. Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream here. Guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you were new. If you want to see more Power and Revolution content, just subscribe to the channel. Super chatting really does help me out. But you guys want to see more, whenever the Steam edition actually does release, and whenever the game updates, because I know it's going to update the day that the Steam edition is going to release. So the day that we get the Steam edition, we are going to get an update. So be ready for that update. So again, guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, see, I tried to do that intro, and I completely forgot about one more thing that I've been saying that I'm going to do. So we're gonna try this real quick. So since someone reminded me, I wanted to see you do Blitzkrieg. I will do the Blitzkrieg next time. Next time we will do the Blitzkrieg. I've already been streaming for almost 2 hours, so I just wanted to kind of get this done. So let's do Head of States. Let's do Iran. Again, I'm doing it on the COVID scenario, but we don't need that much time. Well, Iran's like one of the first people to get hit by COVID, so dang it. Thomas, thank you so much for subscribing. Shout out to you for becoming a brand new subscriber. And for those who are watching right now, let's go ahead and get up to 40 likes. Really want to see if we can get up. We only need 3 more people to like. So if you have not liked, again, please like this video. It really does help me out. Okay, let's look. Do I have nukes? Do I have nukes? Do I have nukes? Army, NBC, program to develop nuclear weapons, 183 days. Yeah, no. Let's try someone else. I'm gonna try Russia. See, new game, world without COVID. Let's do Russia. Okay. Okay. Why does Azerbaijan like you but not you? Aw. What does that mean? Uh-huh. Okay, you said Iraq. Don't know. I don't know the issues that Iraq and Azerbaijan have really had, so I don't really know why ever some would do that between their diplomatic relations. If there is, then I would gladly help, or gladly like to listen to that. History reminds me that dictators and despots arise of severe economic crises. So, first things first, let's go over to the army. Let's meet up with Viktor Ponorov. So we start out with a 1.12% deficit. Or surplus, actually. Effective.
That's fine, thanks. Anything else?
Alright, authorize a nuclear strike. Get activation code.
Look, the activation code for the nuclear warheads is the following. Do you have a pen?
Alright, it's going to be 534923. Someone please write that down in the comments so I can actually look at that for later. 534923 is going to be the code. What about this?
To use this kind of weapon?
Are you alright?
Alright.
Shut up. I wanted to use chemical weapons. Come on, my boy Assad used them. Why can't I use them? We may or may not have used them in Grozny. I may or may not use them in Grozny. Okay. I almost knew that there was a... So, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Can I... Can I launch from there? What about... Let's just do it at Ukraine. See if I can do just a single missile.
We're going to start
Yep. It's going to be this guy right here. Five three four 923 is going to be the code again. Oh, we have a missile. I didn't see it launch. Damn it. Let's see how large this the ICBMs can actually be. We have an ICBM. Oh my god, that's so cool. And 3, 2, 1, contact. Oh, they're already on their way. They hit us again. Let's fire back. Wait. Bombardment. So we can actually bombard areas now, for one. Oh, it disappeared in the fog of war. Damn it. Get out of here, you song. I need to remove that from the game files. I swear to freaking God. I want to see one more. I want to see it launch again. Oh, let's see it opens. 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Haha. Beautiful animation right there. That looked awesome. Still no broad button to launch nuclear missiles across the plane. Hey, get out of here, you jet. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, he already launched the missile and disappeared. Damn it. Okay, let's go ahead and use a nuke. Boom. 472 damage to that. All right, so, let's send our regards over to Washington, D.C. Okay. 5, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3. We're gonna launch an atomic weapon at Philadelphia. So we have that missile launcher. Oh, I guess it just launched it by itself. So, okay, so it has that animation for regular missiles, but it doesn't have that for atomic weapons. But at least, I mean, look at this. This is heading toward Philadelphia. Now it just has to cross the Atlantic. And technically it's moving there like without warning, so the United States probably does not have any anti-missile defense systems that are actually online to be able to take care of it. And let's do a nuclear warhead on that base right there. See, these anti-missiles like should yeah, let's see what rank 1 look like. Still do have a nuclear missile on the way. Ukraine has declared war on us. Boom. What about rank 1 missiles? Those look pretty cool. Currently our missile is directly over France. Imagine the French reaction to that, to just see one little missile. This thing would probably be in space by then. Our entire government just resigned because of our use of nuclear weapons. How many people died? 7,634 people have died in that atomic attack in Ukraine. The head of state gave a long speech in front of the international community calling on them to react against you. His violent indictment was irrevocable, and he demanded that the monstrous attack go unpunished. There's a nuclear meltdown, it looks like, in the People's Republic of China. Climate change. Yeah, I just nuked someone, and then that's what you want to talk to me about, climate change? Of all the places that I selected, and it had to be Philadelphia. Three, two, one. Philadelphia just got completely destroyed. 215,000 people. 250,000 people have died. Way more than that, most likely. Let's look. 6 million people died in that nuclear attack. In the Ukraine, 777,000 civilians died in the nuclear attack. Because not only whenever you actually look at how many people have died, it's not only accounting for military deaths, but it also does account for civilians. So 6 million civilians died in that. There's no way that there were 6 million troops within that area right there. There's no way. So definitely, wow, look at the destruction in Philadelphia. Yay, no more Eagles fans. To be fair, nuking does fix an environmental issue. Humans, hell yeah. Thank you for not nuking Tulsa or Oklahoma. You just gave me an idea, sir. Probably gonna get thrown out by the time that makes it, but... Oh, it's out of my range. So I can hit the entire east coast of the United States, but I can't hit anything in the central region. I can literally hit anything as far as Chicago. I can hit as far as Chicago. Yeah. That's interesting. Nuke Cleveland. Can I hit Cleveland? Yes. Yes, I can. But I'm gonna have to save a full-out nuclear war for another time. Anyway, guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more Power and Revolution content, please stay tuned for that. I'm going to be streaming a couple of times this week, and I will definitely be doing that for y'all. I mean, why not Chicago? Not many people will miss it. I mean, there's like, how many people that would probably miss it and probably not survive it? I mean, that's 3 million people that would miss it. So 3 million, and then like 7 million that live in the metropolitan area, including downtown. So Chicago's pretty populous. We have a 0% approval rating. Anyway, since that happened, again, guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys there.